That's all for this show. Join us next time for all the news and analysis of European football on The Football Review.
The International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM.
Good evening, I'm Maggie Forciero. In the news tonight, majority of COVID-19 health regulations remain unchanged ahead of the festive season. Vanani calls for transparency in green hydrogen procurement processes. Okanangabe land grabbers ecstatic to move to new land. Farmer business school training to improve the livelihoods of rural farmers. And Roundup Business on One, Comments Corner, Sports and the Weather. The Namibian government has left various COVID-19 health measures unchanged, with public gatherings reduced to 200 persons per event, no curfew, while liquor, business and public transport operations remain as is, effective from the 16th of December 2021 to the 15th of January 2022.
The head of state at the country's 38th COVID-19 briefing stressed that the festive season will be pivotal in fighting COVID-19, further urging Namibians to avoid unnecessary movements and risky behavior, emphasizing the need for vaccinations and booster shots for those who have already been vaccinated, as the country is still lagging behind in reaching herd immunity. A total of 133,444 COVID-19 cases have been recorded, with over 126,000 recoveries recorded, accounting for a recovery rate of 94.5%. Active cases have also been on an increase, currently standing at 3,392. To date, since the virus outbreak in Namibia in March 2020, 3,578 deaths have been recorded. The government has further put in place infrastructure projects to strengthen its capacity to provide adequate care and treatment for COVID-19 patients, such as isolation facilities, procurement of equipment, improved oxygen supply at various health facilities, and recruitment of healthcare workers.
Every Saturday at 7 p.m., you can stay true to Namibia Sounds with the Valentine's True Music Sessions. Only on 99 FM. Stay tuned. Stay true. There's no wrong way. Valentine's. Not for sale to persons under the age of 18. Drink responsibly.
A girlfriend. Definitely.
Whoa! Wow! Spin and win this summer. Use the MyMTC app or dial *111# and you could win a brand new Toyota Starlet, Corolla Quest or Hilux. MTC, make the connection.
Early this morning, woke up holding my head, hearing my heartbeat all night long. Shades of this motel keeping me in bed, reading the news, just trying to stay strong. I need to just get up, take a deep breath, keep it together, 'cause it's a beautiful day. Sun on my face, feeling okay. Don't let it get away. It's a beautiful day. Feel so proud, screaming out loud. It's a beautiful day. Beautiful day. Feel so proud, screaming out loud. It's a beautiful day.
Henry Vanani, the president of the Popular Democratic Movement, has cautioned Namibia's head of state, President Hage Geingob, of suspected corruption that could arise from the country's multi-billion-dollar green hydrogen project ambitions. This comes after Namibia attracted to the attention of several international investors, including an international company, which is said to be the preferred bidder for the $9.4 billion green hydrogen project, which is expected to provide a significant boost to Namibia's economy in terms of foreign direct investment and job creation.
We are very adamant saying, Hage Geingob, keep green hydrogen energy clean. I demand from him, keep it clean, and we would look with all eagle's eyes on what will go on, because we are seeing already people lining up on this thing through insider trading, and we are saying that is not going to be acceptable going forward.
Green hydrogen is one of the most popular sustainable forms of energy that is attracting multi-billion-dollar foreign direct investments, according to experts, and it could be the key to lowering the world's carbon footprint, creating thousands of jobs and stimulating economic recovery in countries like Namibia. According to Henry Vanani, the leader of the official opposition party, there are flickering lights of influential families allegedly queued up to benefit from the project, and he's urging the president to ensure that the green hydrogen procurement processes are transparent and open to all Namibians.
I also want to put a very important matter to the table, and that is to call upon the President of the Republic to keep the hydrogen. There is so much hydrogen demand globally, and Namibia is receiving the necessary attention on the hydrogen as a site that can be able to produce hydrogen. But I want to warn President Geingob that if this thing has to really create the necessary job and the economic output that we envisage, then avarice, greed, and corruption must stay out of it. We are already hearing flickering lights of people's children lining up to want to do energy proposals, ABCD. We will not allow this huge hydrogen potential to be derailed because of corruption and greed. Procurement processes, both downstream and upstream, should be open. There must be clear tenders. There must be no corruption in this thing, because we have not seen nearly all contracts that went into this country. All of them are marked by murky water of avarice, greed, and corruption. So I'm calling upon the government and the President Hage Geingob that I put this hydrogen thing on your lap. If you want this thing to be a success, take corruption, take the lining up, take insider trading, take influential families out of this thing. Let it be open to those capable Namibian companies that can be able to tender both downstream and upstreams and the international bidders, and there should not be money under the table. Let's let this thing become clean, because I'm very alive to the fact that Namibia is invited for the first time after many years to go and attend the World Economic Forum in Davos early next year. And there is so much world attention on this country, to a point that they are also considering inviting some of us to go and speak about corruption and so forth. So what we are saying is that Namibia, we are a great country, but corruption has taken us down. Government is pretending not to be God, so don't be the God of corruption. Open up the procurement processes, make sure that everybody benefit in this thing in a very fair and transparent manner, taking our country socio-economic trajectory forward.
Green hydrogen is created using electricity supplied from renewable energy sources like wind and solar, and it can be utilized in industrial operations like fertilizer production, as well as oil and gas refineries and automotive applications. President Hage Geingob, at his recent launch of the second phase of the Harambee Prosperity Plan, expressed that the HPP2 plans to investigate the feasibility of green hydrogen and ammonia production as a transformative strategic industry for Namibia's economic advancement. According to preliminary estimates, Namibia's potential for low-cost green hydrogen energy production could bring in over $9 billion in foreign direct investment and create about 15,000 direct jobs in the market.
Land grabbers from Okanangobe and Ochimise finally received hope of getting land after the City Alvintu Council on the 3rd of December told them that they will be relocated to the Samara Machel constituency.
Community Voices proudly brought to you by Namdeb Diamond Corporation. Good today, better tomorrow.
The homeless land grabbers who have been sleeping at the soccer field in the Tobias Hainyeko constituency for over 4 months now received the good news from city officials who went to show them the new land they will be settled at.
It was on 3 of December this month. Municipality told us to come and show us the place where the one we were pleading for. We were asking. So now he gave us this land here at Korea Hub. It's part of, they told us it's a part of Korea Hub Dam. But for us, because we were fighting to get what we want, for now we get a land. And we are very happy for land. Even though there is no water, they are a little bit far somewhere there. There's no school. For now, I think it's better. For us now, we have a hope that municipality is the one who took us to come to this place. So now we are happy. We don't really know when we're going to move to this place so far. Maybe we have to write an appointment to municipality to tell them that we accept the land. We are happy with the land. Maybe they will tell us when we are ready, or maybe they are going to ask us when we are ready to move. Then we come up with the date.
Now we are getting land. At least we hope that we're having a house now. But for us here, our kids that are schooling far, we cannot say at least that you get a house and home for your future kids that are coming. And the water, only that the water is a little bit far, but at least we are breathing now, we're having a house.
One of the group leaders said that she is thankful to the city for allocating land for them, although it is not serviced. They hope the city will soon bring development to the area.
Since they demolished us, we were just sleeping in the soccer field, in the open spaces. But later on, the municipality, they were promising us, just be patient, we will make for you a plan. On the 3rd of December, they came and showed us the place, the one which we were crying for. And we are happy, we appreciate it, we are happy. For a person to have your own plot, it's not easy in Windhoek. It's not easy. For what the municipality did, we thank you. We thank you so much. We thank you very much. Hopefully we cannot say, because this place doesn't have water, doesn't have what. We were landless. They gave us a land, but now we hope that those people, they have a plan for us to bring for us water and everything.
The city of Windhoek confirmed that the group applied for land to be settled through the control entry policy that was recently approved by council.
Community Voices proudly brought to you by Namdeb Diamond Corporation. Good today, better tomorrow.
Connect in style with O Smartphone, Namibia's most affordable 4G handset. Enjoy high-speed connectivity to music, videos, and social media. Experience life on the 4G fast lane when you swap your 2G or 3G SIM for a free 4G SIM. Get it all for only $4.99 Namibian dollars, and you can make the connection with MTC.
Nandi, it's 3 for 2 times. Aibo. It's click season. Let me go and get the gun. 3 for the price of 2. Bye.
Get ready to celebrate the joy of giving, because nothing says festive season quite like Clicks.
3 for the price of 2. 3 for the
Giving you more so you can give more.
It's click season.
Clicks. Feel good, pay less.
Dink jy sy het nog steeds abandonment issues?
Is moontlik.
Ons moeite met die sprokies. Ek probeer so hard om my kind gelukkig te maak, maar ek kry dit nie reg nie.
Probeer net help, dis al.
Jy doen niks sonder bymotiewe nie.
So jy hou van die tattoo?
Nee. Maar jy kan nie liefde koop nie. En beslis nie myne nie.
Jou regular.
Am I that predictable?
Jy is 'n gereelde klant en ons net so 'n manier om koffie te drink.
How do you like your coffee?
Gewoonlik swart sonder suiker.
Does black and bitter only pertain to your coffee preference?
Ek hou maar net van my koffie sonder melk. Hoe gaan ek 'n bal raak slaan na 2 glase wyn?
That was part of my plan.
Wat? Om 'n tipsie te maak sodat jy kan wen.
I'm terrible at pata.
GIZ, in collaboration with the Red Cross of Namibia, provided training to rural farmers in the Sibinda constituency at Kasheshe to train and educate them on how to turn their farms into a profitable business.
Money in, money in. The Farmer Business School is a concept that was actually introduced in 2010 in the five West African countries, vis-a-vis Nigeria, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Togo, and so forth. This concept has now excelled into around about 24 African countries, and it has trained about over 1.6 million farmers in Africa. And Namibia is one of the 24 countries that has been trained.
On the 2nd of December 2021, GIZ, with collaboration with the Red Cross of Namibia, held a training for rural farmers in Sabina constituency at Kasheshe to train and educate them about how to run a farming as a business.
In this manual, to roll the program out, we had to do the training of trainers, where we've been training trainers that are going to roll out the program itself. In training the trainers last month, from the 18th of October to the 12th of November, we were training trainers in Rundu. We managed to train about 25 trainers. And the process of training the trainers is now what we are completing now with the other 12 trainers out of the 25 that we trained in Rundu. And this is what we call PLG, that's Pair Learning Group. These trainers are now paired into two, where they help each other to train this training manual now to the farmers. And then we continue with the assessment. And this is the training that has been assessed. And to make sure compliancy and quality, me as the master trainer, as the national master trainer, I have to be there to make sure that the trainers are doing as they were taught during the training. And this is what has been happening.
One of the participants from the training, Moses Mandia, was eager to tell Agrion One team what he learned from the training.
My name is Moses Medai from Kasheshe. I am thankful for the program the GIZ and Red Cross have brought to us. In this agriculture program, I learned a lot on how we can improve the crops that we are planting here at Kasheshe. Here we mostly plant millet and maize and also farm with chickens. We did not know that this can turn into a business, but now we know that this is a business where you can make money. We never knew. It has opened our eyes. It is for that reason why I am saying that I am grateful to them. As I am speaking to you now, some of us were involved in the poultry business, but we have failed because we did not know how to record what we invest in the business, but now we know how to keep the records of our businesses, what we invest and what profit we should get.
About 150 farmers who completed the module graduated from the Farmer Business School project.
This Christmas, shop at the furniture store that promises you the lowest prices and lowest installments every day. Guarantees you free delivery if you find a lower price on any item and brings you amazing deals. Like this Restonic 152 centimeter Earth Zone base set, only 4,999, save 3,000. And this 4-piece Trojan Lounge Suite, just 13,999, save 5,000. Only at OK Furniture.
In other leading stories, about 200 youth joined President Hage Geingob at State House in a highly successful and inclusive youth engagement. The event stood out as pivotal for generational cohesion and underlined the commitment of President Geingob to engage openly, including during a difficult period as we fight COVID-19. During the youth engagement, President Geingob emphasized the fact that the government will continue to live by its responsibility to accompany and support young people in their endeavors to become productive citizens. However, even if the government was committed to fighting unemployment by creating an enabling environment for economic growth, the president cautioned and encouraged young people to be job creators in their own right. Government alone could not employ those who are seeking jobs, and the youth with skills and qualifications had a responsibility to create jobs for themselves. The Presidential Youth Advisor, Desiree Matias, also made an eye-opening presentation regarding ongoing government initiatives. The Youth Advisor mentioned that the government had prioritized funding specifically aimed at supporting and empowering youth. She also mentioned government's initiative to strengthen rural agricultural extension services for communal subsistence farmers through NAMSIP, FDB program, as well as the optimization of the productivity of 10 green schemes, which include the Nakratol Green Scheme through public-private partnership. The presentation was kept with concrete proposals to increase budgetary provisions for youth development programs and coordinate youth services and activities to achieve the required ultimate impact.
Christmas, shop at the furniture store that promises you the lowest prices and lowest installments every day. Guarantees you free delivery if you find a lower price on any item and brings you amazing deals. Like this Restonic 152 centimeter Earth Zone base set, only 4,999, save 3,000. And this 4-piece Trojan Lounge Suite, just 13,999, save 5,000. Only at OK Furniture.
Win free airtime with hashtag #LearnOn1. Share your comments on the lessons. SMS your feedback, name and town to 555. Hashtag #LearnOn1. Invite learning in.
Joseph Shifeni is standing by for this evening's edition of Business on One.
Business on One is proudly brought to you by the Government Institutions Pension Fund.
Welcome to Business on One. I'm Joseph Shifeni, giving an update at a press briefing on progress made on procurement since April 2021. The Central Procurement Board, CPBN, confirmed that they had approved 6 projects to the value of $630 million from 11 projects. The entity responsible for procuring on behalf of government agencies above a certain threshold says once bidding documents are submitted before their office by public entities, they undertake the procurement process. By September, the Central Procurement Board was dealing with 29 projects that were at various stages and estimated at a value of $1.3 billion.
We spend a lot of time in meetings, understanding and directing and guiding the public entity, and the public entity convincing Central Procurement Board why a specific evaluation is needed, why this requirement that is in the bidding document is important for the execution of the project. We still have 29 projects that we currently are dealing with. We advertise or are about to advertise 2 bids soon. The evaluation, we've got currently 15 bids under evaluation. 15 of these bids under evaluation, and we have 5 of these bids under notifications and various forms of the notification. In total, the value of all of these projects are deemed to be $1.3 billion based on the cost estimate in accordance with Regulation 8.3. So that's just the cost estimate. We've got one contract that we have. If I say one contract, I think this is actually an understatement. We've got one procurement project that we have awarded that resulted in 13 different contracts that we needed to sign. So this is what the law allows us to do when we are looking at the objectives of the Act, and we would like to be fair and equitable, and we would like to make sure that more Namibians get an opportunity. We look at some of these projects and we ask whether we can unbundle it. And when we unbundle it, you will see that some projects that was originally probably meant for 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 major projects can now yield 13 different contracts that has been administered.
The board had to cancel a number of bids this year as well, as a result of most bidders found not to be responsive to the criteria.
The RFA project on automation of the RFA mass distance charges returned none of the responders or none of the bidders being responsive to our criteria set up. The same with the land acquisition bid that we ran for RFA. None of the bidders were found responsive. NAPCO, on the other side, this is the second time we ran this, but first time we couldn't find any bidders that were responsive. The second time we found one. This particular bid went all the way to the requirements to provide us with a performance guarantee. And after extending, we found that the procurement, or this particular procurement matter, becomes a procurement risk in the sense that the bidder could not give us a procurement guarantee in the extended time that we have allowed them. And as a result, the board then went to ITB 40.2 in the bidding documents, read together with Section 55.7b of the Act, read together with Regulation 38.4 of the Act that says we need to give a person 30 days in order to provide us with a performance guarantee. Section 55.7 says if the performance guarantee is not provided within a reasonable time, the bid process will be cancelled. And as a result, this one needed to be cancelled. Telecom, this is the second time we ran this particular bid. Again, we found no responsive bidder.
The chairperson added that their vision is to be a vibrant agency that enables equitable and sustainable economic growth.
Business on One was proudly brought to you by the Government Institutions Pension Fund.
That's all we have for you. Be sure to follow us on our social media pages for more on the business front.
Hi, welcome to the program. I'm Debula. So let's get on the road with this. Having someone who likes what you like can be great. It gives you something to chat about and share with each other, yeah? But what if you both want to be at the very top of what you're doing and your main rival is your brother? Can you imagine?
Mount Nyiragongo, located in the Democratic Republic of Congo, is one of the most active volcanoes in the world. It's found in the Virunga Mountains and located 6 miles from Goma. So what caused Mount Nyiragongo to erupt?
This is Women in African Music virtual exhibition. It was created by the British-Nigerian documentary photographer Michael Tubes.
Women in African Music exhibition is about celebrating women behind the scene and women performing on the stage.
Dear teachers, we know all the hard work you put in every day to make sure our kids get the best education possible. It's also our goal here at One Africa TV's #LearnOnOne. That's why we bring free quality supplementary lessons that are 100% Namibian, complements of NMH's MyZone. Lessons include early childhood development programs and primary school lessons. These air on One Africa TV every weekday from 9 to 11 a.m. with repeats from 2 to 4 p.m. There's so much to learn with #LearnOnOne. Invite learning in.
Great combo deal from Choppies! Choppies, great value for your money.
Now we look at Comments Corner, your daily dose of comments from our social media pages. The Anti-Corruption Commission of the Republic of Namibia observed International Anti-Corruption Day with the ACC's Director General Paulus Noah stating that corruption has long-term economic consequences and undermines democratic governments. David says Noah is part of the confused team. Sophia says Noah owes us answers. Mervyn wants to know whether the Cybercrime Act is tabulated. That is all from Comments Corner. Be sure to post your comments on our social media pages for broadcast only on Today on One.
Mpaka tuyadha otuli pamwe nangoe mompombo ya mainyanyudho ote ea mukuru okuzangenea toterwe mombo omaobigari hweigiyari omrunga radio ogwakala nokukundaneka okunyanyudha nokuyakuroshiwana omrunga radio yotango monamibia.
Every Saturday at 7 p.m., you can stay true to Namibia sounds with a Valentine's True Music Sessions. Only on 99 FM. Stay tuned. Stay true. There's no wrong way. Valentine's. Not for sale to persons under the age of 18. Drink responsibly.
Castro Ulumbu is standing by for this evening's edition of Sports on One.
I'm your host Castro Ulumbu for this evening's edition of Sports on One. Namibia's biggest cycling event concluded this past weekend at the coastal town of Swakopmund. The two-day event, which kicked off on the 10th of December from Windhoek, saw a new champion crowned in the male category, whilst Irene Steyn retained her title as the queen of the Nedbank Desert Dash in the female solo category. Today on One Sports has more on this story. Dominating the Nedbank Desert Dash for 6 years, Swiss cyclist Connie Lusser's winning spree came to an end this past weekend as he was narrowly beaten by young Namibian cyclist Tristan De Lange in an exciting final ride to the finish line. De Lange finished the race in 14 hours, 55 minutes and 30 seconds, whilst Lusser clocked a time of 14 hours, 55 minutes and 31 seconds. De Lange, who scooped the title from the Swiss cyclist after the race, admitted that it was a difficult and emotional encounter.
Races all over the place at the moment, but we had such a good race. We rode fair, we rode clean, we worked together. Now everyone's in the weight, and the last one, it was cat and mouse from when we left the last checkpoint, so it was really a tactical race. Yeah, we actually thought we'd just sit back a bit and see what happens, but it turned out that we took the game into our own hands and we played chess with it.
In the solo female category, Irene Steyn showed yet again why she is the queen of the Desert Dash as she reclaimed her title, which she won at the 2020 edition. Steyn claimed her podium finish in 19 hours, 25 minutes and 43 seconds, almost 40 minutes ahead of second place Andre Parker, who clocked 20 hours, 7 minutes and 23 seconds, whilst Nadine Klopper ended third in a time of 21 hours, 2 minutes and 3 seconds.
This race for me is all about sensations. The build up to the race, you just have to be in a happy space, and even going through this race, you have to keep your mental space positive and just surround you with happy feelings. Otherwise, you will not be able to get through this because it's just mentally so tough, even more tougher than physically on your body. So just keeping yourself mentally alert the whole time is so important for me. That's how I get through it. You'll see that this year was the largest women field ever for the solo women, and that's great for cycling. That shows you that women's cycling is busy developing, and it's also great from the sponsor side that it's equal prize money for the women as well. Yeah, women's cycling is definitely on the rise, and it's good for the younger cyclists as well. So you will definitely see a growth in women's cycling, as this year was the greatest number ever.
In an exciting two-person mixed category, Genevieve Weber and Brendan Downs claimed victory over Gerard Mans and Henri Krugel, representing Indongo Toyota in 15 hours, 46 minutes and 1 second. Both described the race as exciting, yet challenging, but are happy with their performance.
I started the race for us and had the first 176 k's to do. And our plan was to try and stay with the two-man men's teams for as long as possible. The pace was really hot though, it was really tough. And it was also really hot out there. The first part of the race there wasn't a lot of wind. Fortunately the wind actually did pick up a little bit, which is a blessing because it cooled things down a little bit. But I actually got caught in no man's land and I rode for about 70 k's on my own until I got caught just before the checkpoint by two other guys, and then I handed over to my partner.
Yeah, and then I took over. It was good riding, it was hard riding with the new stages that they added in, was proper riding. A lot of sand, a lot of running. And our competition was a little bit hot on our heels for the first 78 k's of the second stage, but then we managed to make a bit of a break, and yeah.
Head of Marketing and Communications at Nedbank Namibia described the 7th edition of the Nedbank Desert Dash as a success, as he thanked all involved for organizing the event despite the COVID-19 pandemic. And that is all we had for you tonight. Join us again tomorrow for Sports on One, and don't forget to follow us on our social media pages.
Thanks a lot, Castro. Time now to take a look at the weather forecast.
I look at the weather forecast, but first an advisory from the Windhoek Met office. Cooler air is expected in the Karas region on Wednesday and Thursday. The interior will be partly cloudy and hot to very hot, with a few to isolated thundershowers in the north, the east and the extreme southwest. Elsewhere, sunny and hot to very hot. A fresh to strong southwesterly wind is expected over the northern half of the interior and the west. The coast will be partly cloudy and cool to warm. A few light showers are most likely over the central and southern coastal areas. Wind will be moderate to fresh northwesterly to southwesterly.
That is all we have for you. Do join us again tomorrow, same time. Don't forget to follow us on our social media pages for more. From me, Maggie Forciedo, and the rest of the team. Till next time, it's good night.
The International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future. A hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM.
The mighty Zambezi River, the longest east-flowing river in Africa, a river that flows through 6 countries, home to a plethora of wild species of fauna and flora, a lifeline for many people whose livelihoods are dependent on the abundance the river brings. Globally, communities who live along rivers rely on these rivers to survive. Communities living along the Zambezi call it the river of life, bringing water for their crops and fish as their main protein source. In Namibia, a country situated in sub-Saharan Africa, the Zambezi River sits at the heart of Kaza, the Kavango-Zambezi Trans-Frontier Conservation Area, which is one of the greatest conservation areas on Earth, a stronghold for very many of our most iconic wildlife.
I'm right now where the river forms the border between Namibia and Zambia. This enormous water body provides sustenance to a wide array of wildlife, bird and fish species. It's also a lifeline for human beings.
The same communities are the people also who are doing the illegal activities.
The price of fishing has gone up because fish has become scarce.
The more they finish, that's the more our life gets harder and harder.
These days, it is very rare to get a big bream, unless in those protected areas.
A small group of community members, together with non-governmental organizations like Namibian Nature Foundation, are fighting back.
We have to start thinking out of the box, to be honest, because what's going to happen is going to be out of this box that we haven't seen before.
By creating protected areas, monitoring and patrolling, fish stocks have a chance at recovery. These are the stories of the people fighting for the continued existence of their communities. These are the last defenders.
Struggling with no food, no what. But we didn't stop. If I don't do it, our young children, they will never know the fish.
Did you know that the Chobe River holds a spectacular secret? In studio with us today is Greg Stewart-Hill, and he is going to share the discovery him and his team made in the northeastern reaches of our country. I believe the discovery your team made was Let's call it the mass animal migration.
It's probably not so much a mass migration. There's about 2,500 animals involved, but it's certainly the longest migration that has been picked up in recent times, probably the longest that exists at the moment.
Let's start at the beginning. How did you make this discovery?
Well, many years ago when I was very young, and as a student, we used to visit Botswana and go to a place called Naipan. And that was in about the early 80s, and we used to see zebra just arriving at this place. That was normally about January when the rain started. When I started working in Namibia, on the other side, up on the Chobe, we used to see a zebra just disappear. And that was around about December. And people used to wonder where these zebra used to disappear to. So a couple of collars were put on a certain number of zebra. What was discovered was this long migration of zebra that used to leave the Chobe and go down to Naipan. It's about 250 kilometers.
That's quite a trip.
It's a long way, yeah.
And you say that they moved down in December.
So it appears that when the rains start, there's a queue and suddenly the zebra just leave the Chobe floodplains and down they go to Naipan. Then they spend a couple of months there and then they start heading back again, and they take about 2 months. Probably since about 2004-05, they've started to cross the Chobe River into Namibia. And these are the Namibian floodplains, the Zambezi floodplains. In the first few years, they would come and spend about a month or so on the Namibian side. The next year there was 2 months, the year after that it was 3 months, and now they're spending almost between 5 and 6 months on the Namibian side on these very rich, fertile floodplains of the Zambezi. We've also started to talk to some of the old residents who live in those floodplains, and they recall oral history that these zebra used to come and do that in the distant past. And so this, we think, has re-established a migration that had been stopped.
I'm sure it's a spectacular view. What would you say, how can our viewers experience this for themselves?
When we think of migrations and zebra, we think of zebra crossing the Mara River. We have a similar thing where you see the zebra actually crossing the Chobe River. They cross backwards and forwards. They don't just do it one time and then stay there. So there's always a chance you'll see a crossing. I think what's also interesting is that you can see zebra mingling with cattle and the people herding. I think very much a glimpse into Africa's past.
Next week, the Gondwana team will be traveling to Chobe River to see this and experience it for ourselves firsthand. And if you want to experience this, make sure that you visit the Gondwana Chobe River camp. Trust me when I say you don't want to miss it.
Omba Arts Trust is not just an organization for me. I think of it in the form of a person, a mother and a friend I have walked and grew with. A friend whom I've traveled many remote and dusty roads. A sister who provided so much needed support during times of fear and uncertainty.
kama ngaqeke kumcaca kwakhe qama kanti khaqani umqwa ngiqaba ka harasiqo ham qaqon ikake ngasheni kubiya omaqamasi ngiqaqosi ngiqangiya Wako ogo musa omkazua tai na akazua tai koku amta akan kete kaka kwasik aka kwasi koku aka ko kai tani duchi sake kubuka kana borka kana kumka
There is a saying in Damara for people such as Omba, which is which simply means someone who will, with love, exchange your lean piece of meat with their fat one. It might sound simple when translated, but when used towards a loved and appreciated person, it gives such honor. It describes a person who will do everything to make sure you are taken care of. Besides, we all know how the Damaras love their meat.
Ja, Sitsi Maria, good. Jy moet 'n bietjie meer reg wees, né? Soos die boere hulle mieliesplat. Ja.
I have seen Omba grow and turn into a light of hope for Namibians all over Namibia. I have seen women and men grow as individuals, becoming respected members of their communities, but also valuable providers of their families. I have seen people with no hope in their eyes light up when they see Omba arrive to fulfill a promise which was made and which they did not believe will be kept. I have seen women dance and sing for hours until the dust from their feet covers us all because the old friend has arrived. I've seen women standing up in front of a large number of people and express their hopes and dreams. I've seen people who have never left their village travel hours and hours to other countries and share their culture and experiences. I have seen children grow and become young women and men before my very eyes. Omba has been the sister holding hands throughout it all. Omba has built valuable and strong relationship with communities, empowering both women and men, but the impact on women can be seen and felt most sincerely. The work with the women has such a ripple effect all over the whole village, most especially the young. Omba has taught them to fish. As times grow tougher and much more difficult, money becomes scarce. Environment around us changes and nothing will ever be the same again. In times like this is when we realize the value of a friend like Omba. It provides hope, constant support, reliable income, and keeping us all together, keeping our pots filled and our fires burning. A motivation to do better, live better, and expect better. If one day the unthinkable happens and Omba is no more, it will be a sad time for our Namibian rural population. Therefore, let's keep the light burning at all cost.
Ons die Sanmense is die eerste mense in die wêreld wat vandag agter gaan staan. Omba is nou die water wat vir ons nat maak. Dat onze wortels mooi groeien, dat ons vruchten kan brengen, kos kan brengen. Omba gee vir ons werk. En van daaraf lewe ons.
It's just an amazing story that ostrich eggshell beads, 72,000 years ago, the ancestors of the San were making ostrich eggshell beads, and today in the 2020s Junko women are still making those beads pretty much in the same way, and the work has evolved from fairly traditional products, this probably would have been worn like this, into something as sophisticated and contemporary as this necklace from the Waterfall range. So here we are bringing the necklace to this gallery in Windhoek, and it then gets sold to customers in Europe, in America, and generating income for women, Yunqa women back in the Kalahari. So it's just an amazing thread of history that goes to this ostrich egg, to this contemporary jewellery. This basket I absolutely love. It's a finely woven basket in natural dyes. This asymmetry is very unique to Namibian baskets, and we've been working with these women, doing workshops and helping them evolve into these incredibly fine baskets. We've worked with the women developing different palettes, and there's another one with a slightly more yellow palette, but considered are the best baskets in Africa. What we're showing you in this short video is really a long journey of working together with rural communities, reviving ancient traditions, turning them into contemporary world-class products, and supporting the livelihoods of over 400 artisans. Even during COVID-19, we've been helping our sand communities with food and a distribution of tibitats. What we need to do now is to honour the trust that has been put in us over the last 30 years, to support marginalised sand communities and the livelihoods of rural women around Namibia. Your donation will help us get our 400 artisans back to work as soon as possible so that they can feed their families. The lives of their 2,000 family members will directly benefit from this. Please help us raise $50,000 by contributing to the Omba Artisan C19 Support Fund. No matter how big or small, this will make a difference in the lives of our artisans during COVID-19. Thank you.
Scientists are racing to find a COVID-19 vaccine. Creating a vaccine usually takes years, sometimes even decades. More than 150 vaccine candidates are being developed worldwide. Some of the trials furthest ahead have produced encouraging results. Several possible vaccines appear to have produced an immune response with antibodies, T cells, and no serious side effects. Antibodies are protective proteins that fight infections in the body. Some T cells kill infected cells. Others help B cells to make the right antibodies to fight a virus. It's uncertain how long immunity to COVID-19 would last. 6 other human coronaviruses have been known about for years. Natural immunity for the most common 4 is quite short-lived and generally lasts a few years. A COVID-19 vaccine could require booster jabs after years or even months. Scientists are using a variety of methods to make a vaccine. Several human trials are creating vaccines using the genetic code of the virus. Other human trials, and some with animals, are trying more traditional methods, such as using a weakened or inactive virus. This variety might lead to more than